Hi, everybody. It's Diane Evans with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia in Canada. So if this is one of your first times joining me, welcome. I'm so glad that you've joined me. If you join me through YouTube or Facebook, just realize that if you're watching it after, right now you'll be watching something from a live, which also I may be talking to different people. I might be answering their questions, that sort of stuff. So just be aware that it is part of a live presentation. So welcome to Wednesday. Wednesday is my Facebook Live when I go in and I do a mystery challenge. And when I do a mystery challenge, I don't do it the way I used to do it. I used to actually give out a bunch of measurements, tell you how to put them together. But then at that point, I wasn't doing any crafting and I wasn't doing any designing. So what I've done is now, what I'm doing now is I am actually just giving 3 clues. And by giving 3 clues, what happens is we create from those 3 clues. Now, I was a bit amiss when I didn't say one part of the clues, but that's okay. I will follow that part of the clue, and that's not necessarily something that somebody else has to follow as well. So the 3 clues were blue, hexagon, and twine. So I thought what was really perfect for this whole thing is this framed occasions. Now, this framed occasions goes along with the beautiful shapes dies. But you know what? And this is where I got the idea of the hexagon to use here. But I'm going to put a bit of a challenge out to myself because I am not allowed to use a die cut for this particular one. So this is actually for a challenge that I'm in. And we're not allowed to use any dies. We're allowed to use punches, but we're not allowed to use dies. So that's going to be an interesting thing for me. So I'm going to be doing some fussy cutting. I've traced off some hexagons so that way I can go ahead and do it. So like I say, this stamp set, beautiful stamp set, it can be found on page 33. And like I say, it does also correspond with these beautiful shapes. Now, I received a card, and this card inspired me to actually make this card. It's not the same, but the colors are definitely the same. So we have our starry sky. Now, isn't that funny? I'm starting to use more and more of the starry sky than I did before. I have this at 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. So let's just go in, fold it into the mountain, and we will use our bone folder. Don't be shy. Make sure that you say hi and tell me where you're from. I'm also going to do a layer. I'm going to have one for the inside and I'm going to have one for the outside. I like the inside layer to be 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So that's going to be my inside layer. But this layer here is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And yes, I can go and use this one. I got to remember, I've got to use twine. So I want to wrap that around my next layer. So we're going to stamp on that next layer. I think I got that a little too close to the edge. There we go. Hello. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that down on there. There we go. Now, what goes beautifully with this starry sky is this coastal cabana, not coastal cabana, Calypso coral. Look at how gorgeous that goes on there. So we're going to have that. I'm going to come in with some, oh my goodness, where did that, oh, the Calypso coral ink. And we're going to do actually some, it's almost like watermarking, or I could have done this also with a Versamark. I could have done any such thing with this. But what I want to do is I just want to actually go and I want to do some stamping with this. And put some of these sprigs in there. This is, like I say, a really interesting stamp set. Let's see what else I got in here. And we've got this one as well. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to come and just stamp randomly on here. When you are stamping randomly, the best thing to do is to turn around and you want to turn your stamps a little bit. You know what? I'm going to just put this up here, I'm thinking. And maybe we'll just put another one right about there. Now, I know that kind of looks, it looks like, oh, Marjorie, how are you making out watching on the phone? That must be really hard. We're seeing you in the bug picture. And what are you doing is tint. Tint. It's actually called watermarking is kind of what I was told with it. But you know what? It's all good. Whatever we call it, we call it. And you know what? I might go in and use this flower, but I'm going to do it afterwards. We're going to see how that works. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to take this particular stamp, the one that has the hexagon on it, with the wishing you the best day ever, is what's around it. And I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to do this in, I'm going to do it in this Calypso Coral. Now this is a photopolymer stamp set. I should be stamping on a paper piercing mat. So let's just go ahead and do that right now. So I'm just going to put this on here like so. And then I'm going to cut around there. I know it seems really silly to go and cut when I've got a die for it, but you can't see what I'm doing. That's what you're talking about. Oh my goodness. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Oh dear. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what's going on with me today. Okay. Does that work better? So like I say, all I've done is I've just done some tint on here. I just did it sporadically. I'm using, like I say, this particular stamp set. I'm going to cut that because in this particular challenge that I'm in, thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. This particular one that challenge that I'm in, I'm not allowed to do any die cuts. I know it seems a little silly, but that's because there's a lot of people that don't have die cuts. So yeah. Anyways, I think I'm going to use this one, wishing you the best day ever. Gee, I really like the starry sky. There we go. And this is going to lighten up as we go as well. All right, so we've got that. We've got that. I need to then go in and I need to cut this. And really what I've done is I've gone ahead and I have traced off. I'm just going to give it a bit of 1/8 of an inch. This is really easy fussy cutting. I'm giving it about an eighth, maybe a 1/16 of an inch border. Say very easy. There we go. That's going to give us our hexagon. But like I say, I went and I turned around and I actually traced that onto one of these hexagons onto the Calypso Coral. But for your mystery challenge, you can go ahead and you can die cut if you have a die cut for the hexagons. If not, what you can do is you can just trace off a hexagon and cut it like this. This is the way we used to do this before we had a cut and emboss machine, right? Okay, so we're going to put that on there. And I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to layer it on another starry sky. So let's see what else we've got going here. So what I want to do is I want to use some twine on here. Now I have a couple of options that I can do. I can use basic white. I can also use one of these in colored twines. And you know what? I might use that, or I could use my linen twine. I'm thinking that what I will do is I'm going to, should I put this one on or the white? You know what? I'm thinking the white. All right. So I'm actually going to wrap this around, about 2 times. And then I'm going to actually tie this onto this side over here. Let's try again. I'm wondering if I should have used that Starry Sky Baker's Twine. All right. Just going to tie this into a knot. Now, if I need a third finger on there, remember I could use a glue dot, but I think I should be okay to get this one done. I'm going to show you a tip. If you don't get your twine tight enough, just trying to get that in there. It looks like I've got it tight enough. But if you don't have it tight enough, what you can do is pull it tight onto the back and put some like tear and tape on there, and then it'll work. All right, so we'll just sort of trim that off a little bit. Might come back in and give it another haircut. All right, so we have that. Now this can go onto this part here. All right, so let's just go in with our glue. And then we'll just layer this on here. Now this piece happens to be 3 3/4 by 5 inches. These colors go so nice together. Also, another color that goes really nice with this Starry Sky is the Sweet Sorbet as well. All right, so I have this here. I'm going to put that. You know what? I think I'm going to need another sprig or two up here. Let's do another one there. Now, what I wanted to do was I was thinking that I might even do these off a bit, off kilter a bit. So let's go ahead. Let's put this one onto this with dimensionals. So now I don't think I brought my scraps of Starry Sky over. I'll have to go and get those. All right, so actually I think I'm going to layer this one on here correctly. Well, what's right and what's wrong, right? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to put that onto, because otherwise it's not going to show. Let's put it onto the Calypso Coral. Just like, whoops. Move it out of the way so I can see where it's going. There we go. And then this is just going to go on here, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to just put this on here any which way. And I have some blue, some Starry Sky here. Now this punch goes really good with this particular one. So I'm going to come in and I'm actually going to come in and use this punch. Don't usually punch that way, but and then I also need another small piece. So it'll go in here. That. And then I was thinking that maybe I should have some white in there like that as well. So I'm just going to come in with scrap white. Just like that. Did you notice this punch in the catalog? It was actually in the catalog last time. All right, so let's go ahead and put that on there like that. So I'm just going to glue that part and then we'll put it on with dimensionals. There we go, just like so. And let's go ahead and use some more dimensionals. Now I could have used black dimensionals because this is a dark color, but we should be able to get away with these white dimensionals on here. Okay. I usually take those off with the take your pick tool. All right, so this is going to go just about like so. I'm I'm hoping that I can get these pieces on there. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to take some glue. So right in the wrong way with this, the punch. Let's just put some of that behind. Different colors, right? And you know what? I'm thinking that maybe this is a little too stark, this white. I'm wondering if I should stamp it. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'm just taking this frond stamp. I'm going to use some blue, Starry Sky, I mean. And we're just going to stamp this. Just to give it so that it's got a bit of texture in it. So I can go ahead and put this under here. I'm just going to, oh, you know what? I stamped it on the wrong side. You can feel it that it's the wrong side. All right, so let's go here. Stamp again. And just bring in our glue. Just gives a tiny bit of texture. And if I think that that on the other side is just a little too much, let's see, what have I got here? You know what? I'm going to put this down there. We may have to just punch up just a tiny bit more. We're going to stick that under there. Hard to tell which is the wrong and the right side. You can really tell when the punch is dull what the wrong side is. It's just going to go here. Just like so. And I think we need just a tiny bit more. So I'll just come in with the punch again. Punch out those again. And we will also punch out, you know what would look good with this too would be gray. But I'm just going to punch a little one here. Maybe punch two of them. Okay. And the white. So just attach that. Oh, on your phone, the screen's too small. Yeah, but you probably have better reception. Your iPad doesn't have any data. What you could do is you could share your data with your computer. Is sometimes the best way to make things like that work when you're out at the lake like that. Okay, let's just put one of these up there as well. There we go. Here, that'll work. All right, and then what we can do is we can go in and we could use some of white, some of these white dots on there, or we could also use these in color dots. So let's go ahead and use the Starry Sky ones. Let me just close this up. And I'm going to put that in there because it's there. All right, so this is a mystery challenge. You can go ahead, post this on my group. And if you live in Canada, you could be up for winning a stamp set. If you're outside of Canada, I have a tutorial that I can give you if your name is drawn. And it's kind of nice when you can basically like I say, if you're living outside of Canada, you can get a tutorial, which is kind of nice. Okay, so I'm just going to put 3 up there. You know what? And I'm going to put 1 there. We're going to use 5 on here. There we go. So this is the sketch challenge, or the mystery challenge. And then of course we have to go and put something on the inside of the card. And I don't want to put too much on the inside of the card. So I think what I'll do is I'll go in, and I should clean this off instead of cleaning it with my finger. Oh, thanks. A little bit different. A little bit different from my style. That's for sure. You know what? And I think I'll come in. And not my colors. I'm not much of a Calypso coral type person, but I don't mind this. There we go. Just gives a little bit something. And let's put that on the inside. So if you like this, make sure that you give me the thumbs up, even though, oh, look at that. That's what's wrong with this blue. This blue is something else. I have had to use hairspray on my my fingers because I've had so much of this blue on. Now it looks like I've got the Calypso coral. Right, and then let's just put this down here. Now, hopefully we don't get any of that blue on there like I did there. I guess that's what gives it the imperfection, right? That it's a handmade card. Like I say, I like the insides being 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And that gives you the scraps that you're actually taking off your cardstock. It's a 1-inch scrap. So it really helps with being able to use different things. Now I see that there's a bit of glue that came out here. So just take a sponge and just rub it there. And then that takes the stickiness off. So what we did was we used this, the framed occasions. Remember, I cut all of my my hexagons. I did not use the dies. I can use a punch because this is part of a challenge. And the challenge is for casual crafters. And then I also use the in color matte dots with there to do the highlights there. So I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry about seeing the small little screen to begin with. But in any event, so come back tomorrow at 6:30 Pacific time. I will be doing my Now What series. That's when I pick something from that you may have in your stash. And I basically pick something that you could, what you might be able to do with it. And also on Saturday at 10 o'clock doing the card sketch. Don't forget to post it to the group for a chance to win. And also, if you live in Canada, I'd love to be your demonstrator. But anyways, no matter where you are, remember to create because it's great for the soul. Have a great day. Bye for now.